Hi guys, Chris.
And Boomer.
We're live here in the Dream Giveaway Garage behind us. 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge. It's time that you guys learn a whole lot about the Judge today.
Oh yeah, this is an absolutely marvelous car. I love this car. And so we're going to take you on a kind of a tour around the car today, inside and out.
That's exactly what we're going to do. To start off, I want to remind you guys that the Pontiac Judge was really not supposed to happen. But because of the kind of radical style of John DeLorean, who was ahead of Pontiac in the 1960s, the same guy who came up with the GTO in the first place, the Judge came out. And many of you may know the story. Sammy Davis Jr., famous actor, used to have a skit on a TV show called Laugh-In.
Laugh-In, Rowan Martin's Laugh-In, yeah.
Right?
I used to watch that as a kid.
Yeah, and maybe we'll have the opportunity to show you a clip of that at some point during this video. But so Sammy Davis would walk in and he had on the kind of classic British robe and wig and a gavel, and he'd walk on in and he'd kind of strut in a 60s kind of hip cat style, and he'd say, "Here comes the Judge."
Here comes the Judge.
And so John DeLorean was totally in love with that show, and in fact, they didn't know, everybody else at Pontiac didn't know what they were going to call the Judge. They were thinking of calling it the ET, they were thinking of calling it the Sebring.
Yeah.
And a true story, and I heard this directly from the guy who was there. One of the engineers was going up the escalator at the General Motors building in Pontiac, in Pontiac. And John DeLorean was coming down the escalator. And so they reached on over, you know the scene, the escalators going the different way. They go, "John, what are we going to call that new GTO?" He says, "Call it the Judge." And that was it, and nobody messed with John DeLorean, so they called it the Judge. So let's talk about this car. Restoration, Boomer?
Restoration on this car is fantastic. I mean, it's been gone through from nose to tail. Everything on this car works. Everything on this car functions the way it's supposed to. We'll show you here in a minute. I mean, the motor has the correct stickers and the correct chalk marks. It's all done in the correct paint, both under the hood, in the trunk, underneath the car. The interior is like it's supposed to be. So when you get this car, it's not just a remanufacture. I mean, this is a factory correct restoration on a beautiful 69 GTO.
Very much like getting a new car.
Yes.
Very much so. From the paint to the tightness of the doors to the feel of the interior and even to the rumble of the engine.
Yes, I mean, it really does run and drive like a 69 GTO.
That's right. So what's the most fun part of a classic muscle car? Let's all say it together, the engine.
Yes.
That's right. So we're going to show you the engine next. Boomer, you gotta love the day when you could see the engine in the engine bay. You can't do that much anymore.
No, I mean, you can actually see ground through the engine bay and stand. It's amazing.
That's absolutely right. So Boomer was talking about the presentation. Look at that block.
This block is absolutely perfect. It's the right color. The valve covers are nice and shiny. Everything is where it's supposed to be. I mean, this thing, you could eat off of this motor. It is so clean.
And maybe we'll do that in lunchtime, but we'll be sure to clean it up before we give it away to you guys. But down to the little stuff, guys. Day-coated radiator hose.
Yep.
Correct tower hose clamps. Correct chalk marks on the firewall.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, this engine, Ram Air 3, 366 horsepower. Interesting story, you've heard of the Ram Air 4. There was a Ram Air 5. Pontiac had built it as a drag race motor, and they wanted to sell it to racers to put in their GTOs in 1969. It's too radical. About 600 horsepower. The corporation, you know, it's happened time and time again. General Motors said, "No way, Jose." And they wouldn't let the Ram Air 5 come out. Some of them got out to the parts counter, but they're very rare today.
Yes.
And talk about having a rare car when you win this. You can take this car to a car show, and Boomer's going to tell you what kind of reaction you're going to get, because he's driven it.
Oh yeah, I mean, when we take this thing out, I mean, you're getting thumbs up, you're getting people pulling up next to you at the stoplights, going, "Oh my God, I haven't seen one of these in years," or I've seen them in magazines, but I've never seen one in person. That's the kind of reaction you get with this car. Now, one of the other things that's really special about this car are the headlights. And you know, we kind of skip over that sometimes, but first 500 cars off the production line.
That's correct.
In '69 for these GTOs had standard regular headlights. After the first 500, they now put in the hideaway headlights. So this is a very early production car, and you get an option that you're not going to see in the later '69 GTOs.
That's absolutely the truth. Possibly even a first week production car. We don't put it in the marketing advertising, but this is the 42nd Judge off the line. Production started in February of 1969. Man, it's hard to believe that this is 50-year-old technology, because it looks totally hip. And it's hard to believe that this technology is 50 years old, but it is.
Oh yeah, and I mean this thing, I mean it's a classic now. It's classic styling, but you know, everything goes in a circle. So styling is coming back to the classic style now. So I mean, a car like this will never ever go out of style.
It will always be a legend. It will always be an icon. It'll always be cool. And you'll always be cool when you're driving one of these 1969 GTO Judges. Well, I'll tell you what, the other way that people recognized the Judge was its wild paint and its wild decal package. Let's tell you guys about that. So the GTO came out at the height of the psychedelic era. Wild colors, bright colors, a whole lot of artistic stuff going on. And it kind of has a little bit of that flavor to it. The decals themselves, look at this, Boomer.
Oh, I know, these things they're so cool. You know, they're blue and red and yellow.
I mean, who would put that on a car today? But it's what makes the GTO stand out, even among all the incredible muscle cars of the 1960s. So the Judge decal right there. You might have seen people with jackets wearing these back in the 60s.
Oh, yeah.
And look at here, the pinstriping here. It's a little more than pinstriping. It's a full stripe, but it matches the color of the Judge down there. Also, a big call out to anybody who's coming up against you at a stoplight, Ram Air. Now what's interesting is, again, there were two Ram Air engines, Ram Air 3 and the more powerful Ram Air 4. That doesn't tell you which one it is. So you'd have to take your chances at the stoplight. But there's also something here, and I know, Boomer, this is one of your favorite parts of the car.
Yeah, it is. This thing has a functional tack built into the hood, and it's one of my favorite things. I love the look of this thing. When you're sitting in the driver's seat and you're looking out over the nose and you can see the tack sweeping up as you're going through the gears, it's a really cool touch. I mean, nobody else did this, and it was, I mean, this was a really cool thing on these GTOs. And I mean, for me, the classic look is iconic, and I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, this GTO Judge, well-optioned car, 4-speed, parchment interior, hood tack, posi traction rear end, kind of everything that you need to be the coolest guy on the street back in 1969. And you'll be the coolest guy on the street when you enter to win this GTO in the GTO Dream Giveaway. We want you to get on over and use the promo code that you see with this video. Get your bonus tickets at www.dreamgiveaway.com. Well, Boomer, what do you say? I think it's time to show them a little bit of that interior and some old style, old school, badass fun.
Oh, yeah. I love the classic look of this interior. I mean, and it is flawless in here. I mean, you've got your classic, your standard setup. You've got your Speedo right in the middle. And like I was talking about earlier, you look out over the hood, and there is that gorgeous tack sitting there. You know, AM, FM radio, you know, bare bones, nothing else. Literally, you've got a clutch, a brake pedal, a gas pedal, a Hurst shifter with that M22 4-speed, and this is it is a blast to drive.
Absolutely, yes. And talk about throwback. And I'll tell you guys, when you enter to win this GTO, you're going to have a great time cruising in this GTO. And like Boomer likes to say, this is Dream Giveaway. What isn't it, Boomer?
It's not average car giveaway. You know, we don't give away average cars. We don't give away Hyundais. We don't give away Priuses. You know, we want to go back and we want to give you something that is just super cool. And these cars are just the epitome of super cool, because you know, you didn't see a lot of them back in the day, and now, I mean, we're 50 years on from these cars. You really don't see them now. I mean, if you're flipping through your Facebook account or you're flipping through Instagram or whatever, you run across guys that are going, oh yeah, I've got one, and you know, you look at it, and of course it probably needs a little bit, or it needs a lot. It needs new paint, it needs new interior. I'm telling you, when you win one of these cars, when you win this car, you're not getting a car that needs a little bit of paint or a little bit of tune-up. You're getting a car that is 100% immaculate. Drive to the car show, win it every single time. The car needs nothing but for you to get in it and take it out and have fun in it and show it off.
And that's a good time to remind you, get over to www.dreamgiveaway.com. Use the promo code that you see with this video, and you're going to get bonus tickets. This is the first time we've given away a 1969 Judge, and I want someone out there to be so happy. I want it to be a game changer. I want it to be a life changer. I want them to be the happiest they've ever been in their life when they enter to win this.
Yeah. One of the other cool things about this, and some people know it, some people don't. We'll go through it real quick. There are 2 sets of seat belts in the front. It's hard to see. Maybe Genesis can show you this as we go along. But there's a littler one, a smaller one, and then there's a bigger one. And I've had people go, well, why are there 2 sets of seat belts in here? Well, this thing had lap belts or shoulder harnesses in it. But they didn't connect like your standard shoulder harness. I don't know if the engineers just didn't get around to going on. I can't figure this out. But your shoulder harness pulls down and plugs into this, and your lap belt is, comes out standard and plugs into the other one. And it's a 3-point restraint harness. But that's just the way they did it back in the day.
And that's right. And some other cool features on this interior, of course, AM/FM radio.
Yep.
Ram air, manual ram air actuation. This is cable driven and will open and close those vents coming in through the hood. The reason, of course, rainy days like today.
Yep, and of course, no air conditioning in this car. Your air conditioning is your open window, but it does have the pull vents on the bottom. They open up, and underneath here, they blow nice cool air or cooler air into the floor and helps at least remove some of the heat. And the windshield wipers work, and they squirt fluid, and you know what? This car probably works better than the day it rolled off the showroom floor.
That's probably right. I want to mention that parchment interior, really cool here. It's almost like a metallic pearl.
Yeah.
Not really a true white. Pearl or oyster or one of those kind of metallic colors.
It kind of sparkles when you get the right light on it. It's really cool.
Absolutely. Rare. Most GTOs this year got the black interior. This one got the white interior. Great color combination on it. One last thing I want to mention, this headliner, man, talk about absolutely perfect.
Oh yeah, I mean, you just don't see cars like this. Well, you do. If you go to a museum, they're roped off. You're kind of taking your time from 3 feet away to try to look at a car like this. But this one will not be that way. This one will be yours. It'll be in your garage, and you'll get to do whatever you want to with it.
That's right. Well, Boomer, you're sitting in the driver's seat. The key is in the ignition. The transmission is ready to jump into neutral. And that means one thing, guys. Why don't you show them let them hear how the engine sounds.
We can do that.
Wow, first start.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. That's really nice. Listen to that, guys. That's the purr sound of a 366 horsepower Pontiac V8. The lopey cam. Pontiac was known for their lopey cams back in the day. And this thing just ready to get out there and have some street fun.
Oh yeah, I mean from the second you sit in this thing to when you start it, it really takes you back to the days when, cars are different today. In a lot of ways they're better. In some ways they're not better. When you got in this car, it really is a visceral experience. You sit behind the wheel. You got to drive this car. It doesn't have, four-wheel disc brakes. It doesn't have traction control. It does have power steering. but you know, the tires aren't great on it. But that's what these cars were. And that's why so many of them ended up wrapped around telephone poles, is they weren't the easiest cars to drive with high horsepower and small tires, and it is what it is, but man, I mean, it's just a kind of a throwback. You get sitting in this car and driving it is an even better experience.
That's right. Now, Boomer and I are simply caretakers of this GTO because we're going to give it away to one lucky person. We want that person to be you. But to win it, you got to be in it. To be in it, get over to www.dreamgiveaway.com. Use the promo code you see with this video, and you're going to get bonus tickets. Boomer, what do you say if we show them one of the other wild parts of the 1969 Judge, and that's the Astro Wing?
Oh, yeah. We can do that.
All right. There's no mistaking the GTO Judge from the rear, is there, Boomer?
No, there is not. What a beautiful profile.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at this. Only available on the GTO Judge, not the regular GTO. Super spoiler, they called it. Or Astro spoiler. And this, from here to there, 59.5 inches of 60s muscle car glory. All right there for you guys. Only available on the Judge. And this one, excellent condition.
Oh yeah, there was nothing else like this out there in '69. This thing was, it's iconic.
That's right. Well, Boomer, let's look a little bit at this rear end. What do you got poking out there underneath the chrome bumper?
You got some nice dual exhaust coming out there.
Absolutely. And here's an interesting fact. Back in 1969, these came with 1 3/4 inch dual exhaust. Man, that's tiny by today's standards. Of course, standard these days running a nice 2.5 true dual exhaust, and that's what this GTO has. Also want to mention that the side marker lights mandated by the federal government in 1968 are on this 1969 Judge, and they say GTO right on them. That's a cool touch.
Yeah, it is.
The Judge decal right there on the super spoiler. Again, letting everybody know that this GTO means business. The other thing I'd like to mention are the wheels. Originally came with little skinny 14 by 7 inch wheels. Now it has 15 by 8 radials on it. Much more pleasant driving experience and a whole lot safer too.
Yes.
And last but certainly not least, the trunk.
All right.
Wonderful presentation here on the trunk. You have the original spare tire, actually a full-size spare. And Boomer, am I looking at a 50-year-old never used original spare?
That's exactly what you're looking at. This is an original spare for a car.
That's amazing. A correct splatter paint there. And we were talking earlier about how this area of this style of GM car, the A-body, tended to rust out, but not this one, guys.
No, this one is in immaculate condition. There's no sign it was ever rusted. It's been very well taken care of. The car is pristine inside and out.
Absolutely. Let's shut it together. Boom, man. Love the sound of that thud.
Yeah.
This GTO Judge, the total package, the star of the GTO Dream giveaway. Boomer, when does this end?
Ends 29th of October of this year, so right before Halloween. Perfect color.
That's right, perfect color for Halloween. Plus, we're going to pay the taxes. How much?
$20,000 to the United States government on your behalf to pay the taxes on this car.
You got it. So remember, guys, get to www.dreamgiveaway.com. Use the promo code you see with this video. You're going to get bonus tickets. Boomer, you have a famous phrase on how people should enter.
Enter early and enter often, because you're not going to want to miss your chance to win this gorgeous '69 GTO.
And I promise you, we're going to fly you here to Clearwater, Florida if you're the winner. You're going to get to start the car up in Studio A right here in the Dream Giveaway Garage. Boomer is going to hand you these keys, and you're going to be helping out 7 great charities, including New Beginning Children's Homes, Mothers Against Drunk Driving, Detroit Rescue Mission, Smile Network, Honor Flight of West Central Florida National Guard, Educational Foundation. 7 great charities are going to be helped out with your generous donation. That's our review today of the 1969 Pontiac GTO Judge, the grand prize in the GTO Dream giveaway, plus $20,000 in taxes. That will pay. We'll see you next time with more great fun, more great action, and more great traction in
the Dream
Giveaway Garage.
See you next time.